Hi there, my name's Dean, and I've been involved in various aspects of marketing for about 30 years now. And this time I'd like to talk to you about the different types of tourism and different destinations, and how if you're in one segment of this industry, your world can be completely different than it is if you're involved in another segment. Let's start off with the two main forms of tourism you're familiar with. The first, of course, domestic tourism. The odds are if you own a small t-shirt shop or restaurant and you're involved in tourism, it's domestic tourism. And this isn't going to change over the next few years. This is the bedrock of the American tourist industry. Of course, international tourism has been the glamour part of this industry for some time, but that segment's under a lot of stress right now. You see, we used to go to New York and Rome, Paris, and the major European capitals. But today, more adventurous tourists are just as likely to head off for Moscow, one of the top 10 destinations today, or Bangkok. This style of tourism has put a real stress on the old line destinations. You'll see this form of tourist destination change a lot over the coming years. Another form of tourism that's coming into its own now is called sustainable tourism. And what that means is tourist destinations that try not to have an impact on the local culture or communities where they're located. Perhaps a poster child for how not to do this are the American casinos located on Indian reservations. These folks occasionally negatively impact the communities where they're located in and destroy the old Native American traditions. Now, going back to our list, medical tourism. That's an area that is politically charged, and as a matter of fact, the phrase economic refugees could be slapped on these exact same folks. See, there's a lot of hospital overseas that are coming to cater to American tourists who cannot afford medications and surgeries at home. Oftentimes, even if you have insurance, the cost for deductibles and things that are not covered can become so high it's unbearable. As a matter of fact, surgery is the #1 reason for bankruptcy in the United States. Next on our list is ecotourism, perhaps the most famous of the new forms of tourism. And I know you're fairly familiar with ecotourism and will not dive into it much in this video. Finally, adventure tourism. Now that could be anything from camping to bike riding. Hiking is very popular in the Smokies, and of course recently zip lines have come into its own. Now, this segment of the tourism industry is really competitive. This is serious marketing, and these guys are after the business that's out there. One of the things that has changed because of the changing economy is the death of the 2-week vacation. And that's really affected certain segments of the tourism industry, especially accommodations. You see, a few years ago, the factory would shut down for 2 weeks and everybody would go on vacation while they retooled. Today, we take 3 or 4 day vacations. We'll take a 3-day long holiday and add 1 day to it and make that a 4-day vacation. That means that places like hotels have to refill their rooms perhaps 3 times more often. That means bigger marketing budgets. Since you're turning the rooms over, you also have higher housekeeping costs. It's a far more competitive industry today because of the death of the 2-week vacation. Listen, I hope some of this has been helpful to you, and if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to call me. I'm right there, deanlewis.biz. Also, if you got any information out of this, I hope you'll subscribe. Thank you. Take care.